Does this bike feel great to ride? Do I like riding it? 100% yes. Oh my God, does it feel nice to ride? Would you buy a Chinese carbon aero frame and build a bike yourself? Because that is exactly what I've done. So I have got this, which is the Winspace Carbon T1550, and this is my first time out on it after building it up the other day, and I am super excited about it. First things first, this is not going to be a review of the performance of the bike, because obviously today is going to be the first time I've been out on it. But one of the things I want to talk about is sometimes it's not about how a bike feels, but how a bike makes you feel when you're riding it. And that's what we're going to chat about today, because this is my first experience on the T1550, and I've done a few laps and it has just been so fun. So we're going to get into it. Guys, how does this bike look to start with? Let me know what you think, and then I'm going to give you my first impressions of riding it. And I've come down to Dorney Lake, which is probably the safest place I could be to do it. It's a closed venue, it's a rowing venue. So first and foremost, is it going to ride all right considering I built it myself? And secondly, how does it make me feel? See you guys in a sec. So just quickly, for anyone that is not clued in, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on my bike and the setup. So this is the T1550, which is the aero frame from Winspace. This is a size large, which basically I think makes it around a 55. We've got the Carbon Zero SL integrated bar and stem. We've got a Sram Force group set, so Sram Force levers. Sram Force, I can't remember what the cassette is 4835 with a 3310 on the back. Sram Force again. We've got the Lun Hyper 67s with the brick cap Lego Stormtroopers, which I think looks very cool on this bike. We have the Challenge Criterium, which are 27 with the white walls. I'm just going to get rid of that. I don't know what that is. But there we go. That is a full breakdown. So Winspace T1550, size large, 67 Lun Hyper wheels with a Sram Force group set levers and the aero bar and stem. Guys, how cool does that look? That looks so good. So the first thing we've got to do is just to make sure that we have put this bike together properly. But oh my God, does it feel nice to ride. And that's the thing, guys, we're not reviewing the bike itself, but there's a lot of, I want to put a lot of emphasis on not only does how a bike feel to ride matter, but also how does it make you feel to ride that bike? Because that's just as important. You know, we can spend a huge amount of money buying carbon frames, carbon bikes, building them up. But the reality is, if it doesn't make you feel good when you're doing it, then you're just not getting as much value for your money. And I'd probably argue how you feel riding your bike is one of the most important factors. And God, I love it. Absolutely love it. I think it's great. I think it looks awesome. It's a lot of fun to ride. We'll go into it in a bit more detail. But first impressions is, God, it's nice to ride a bike that you're just in love with. Whoa. And thus far, seems like we put it together properly. So we're down at Dorney Lake, which is right next to where I live. I thought it'd be a really great place to come just to make sure I put this all together properly, make sure it's all working okay. It's a 3.5 mile loop around this gorgeous rowing lake, and it seems like the safest place I can go to test whether my bike is actually going to stay in one piece or whether it's going to kind of cause me some trouble. Everything at the moment is going amazingly. No rattling, no other noises, so it feels good, sounds good, running nice and smooth, super quiet. Sram Force group set. Yeah, it's lovely. So everything at the moment is working as it should be, which is obviously a massive positive, not only for the bike, but also my bike building skills, which are quite new. But yeah, absolutely lovely. Brutal headwind, which means there's a nice tailwind down one side. I'm going to work my way through the gears. The power meter is all linked up to my head unit, so all things go. Let's give it a quick squiz around Dorney Lake, see how she feels. See you in a sec. I think it's pretty safe to say that this thing has been put together by an absolute professional. So the SRAM group set is working nicely. We waxed the chain this morning. Everything thus far, other than the brakes, which still need a bit of extra love, they've been aligned, they just need a little bit of bleeding. But yes, everything so far is running super nice. Perfect pavement to test it out on because it's so smooth. You're going to kind of pick up any vibrations from the bike that's not meant to be there, which is perfect. That's great, but it feels great. Slightly different geometry to my other bike. That's more of a kind of road touring bike. This is obviously a nice aero setup, aero frame. So the one thing I have noticed straight away is the handlebars sit a little bit lower on this because I have obviously taken a little bit out the stack height on the bars. They also sit a little bit closer towards me, so it's a little bit less reach, which I actually find really nice. So it's a bit more comfortable, and having nice narrow bars just feels great. So first impressions, as I was saying, how does the bike feel, or how does the bike make you feel, rather than how does the bike feel? That's what we're going to answer today. I think it's great. I think it's awesome to be able to go somewhere and basically take a bike that's not a Pinarello and it's not a Cervelo. You know, I think it's really cool to turn up somewhere and have your own style of bike. People are going to ask questions. You're going to be able to talk about it. I love that. You know, what is, at the end of the day, in terms of all these carbon fibers, yes, they make a difference. How big a difference? Hard to say sometimes when it comes to performance. Oh, just going to be careful because there is a fence down here. That could have hurt. Who puts a fence in the middle of a cycleway? So yeah, there is a difference in carbon fiber stiffness and things like that, and weight and things like that. But ultimately, for me, as a 41-year-old male who started cycling properly like 16, 18 months ago, and they just picked up their first aero bike, even if it wasn't my first aero bike, even if I've been cycling 5, 10 years, it's fantastic because it's how it makes you feel. And this just feels so fun to ride. And it does feel quick. I mean, that's the other thing. I don't want to like put it in that bracket of like enjoyment and just not performance. It feels quick. So I will do a couple of nice fast laps. But ultimately, would I notice the difference in stiffness and firmness? Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe I'm not that much of an accomplished cyclist. Does this bike feel great to ride? Do I like riding it? 100% yes. I just think it's amazing. I think it looks awesome. So I'd be interested to see what you guys think. So quickly, we're just going to talk about geometry. the one thing I've noticed straight away is, due to the size and shape of the frame, or just the geometry of the frame, if I'm up out the saddle, so bear in mind I'm 5'11", 181 centimeters. When I get up out the saddle, feels like my chest is so much closer to being over the top of the front of the bike, keeping my weight forward with a nice low stack height and the 95mm stem. It kind of pushes me into a way better sprinting position than my Cinelli, which obviously isn't quite so performance aero based. And I love that. Down on the drops as well, when I'm on the drops, chest a little bit closer to the top tube. So nice. All super positive things that I think just make riding a bike feel like it's faster, even though it might not actually make a huge amount of difference. We'll see. That's probably for another time, but it feels great. The sensation is what we're after today. How does this bike make you feel? I love it, guys. I just cannot stop saying that. I love it. Absolutely just think it's like, how awesome is that? I can't wait to turn up on a ride in the spring, not the winter, and just be like, yeah, it's like I built that, I bought it, I put it together, I think it looks awesome, and it makes me feel great. And that is the important thing. Way more important than kind of being able to just say, well, I bought a brand because it's that brand, which I can see the point of it, because you get, yeah, I can see the point of it, but at the same time, I'm here to tell you now, on first impressions, you know, this bike feels like a lot of fun. I love the size of it, I love the shape of it, and hopefully I'll end up putting in some good performances in the spring. The other thing I'm going to point out is the wheels. Obviously I slapped some logos on the wheels, which put my own little twist on them. How do we think they look? I've monogrammed the wheels. They are tubeless. They're 67 Lun Hypers, the SE version, steel bearings. I think they look super awesome with a monogrammed decal on the wheels, but that's me. So this has been a lot of fun. We've managed to get the bike, I'd say, pretty dialed in. So it's like, it feels great. I absolutely love it. I think it looks amazing. Do let me know what you guys think in terms of how the bike looks. I will do a more detailed report on how it rides sometime in the future once I manage to put a whole ton of miles into it. But for now, it has been a whole load of fun just whizzing around Dorney Lake. Guys, I will see you soon on another one, or I'll catch you in a Zwift race. Check you soon.